What if I told you that the hottest room in your house is not actually a hot room? It is not bad luck. It is not the wrong side of the house. It is not because that room gets too much afternoon sun or because your air conditioner is too small. It is a pressure problem, and it has a name. And it can be fixed with a $16 piece of hardware from your local home improvement store and about 45 minutes of your time. But before I tell you what that fix actually is, I need to explain something about how your HVAC system really works, because most people have it wrong. And once you understand what is actually happening inside your walls every time your air conditioner kicks on, you are going to look at that hot room in a completely different way. By the end of this video, you are going to understand three things. The real reason that room is hot, and it has nothing to do with heat. The $16 fix, exactly what to buy, and step by step how to do it yourself in under an hour. And the thing about closing your bedroom doors at night that nobody has ever told you. Something that may be quietly damaging your HVAC system every single night while you sleep. Every house has that one room, the spare bedroom at the end of the hall, the home office above the garage, the grandchildren's room that everyone avoids in summer because it is simply unbearable. The room you have been apologizing for every time someone visits. You have probably assumed it is just the way that room is. A bad room. Nothing to be done about it short of spending thousands of dollars on some kind of upgrade. But here is the truth. That room is not broken. The house is not broken. The pressure loop is broken. And that is an entirely different problem with an entirely different and far cheaper solution. Here is how your HVAC system actually works. And this is the part that nobody ever explains properly. Your air conditioner is not just a machine that makes cold air. It is a closed-loop pressure system. Air goes out through the supply vents, the ones you can feel blowing air into the room. That air travels through the room, and then it returns back to the air handler through the return vents, the larger grills that pull air back in to be cooled and recirculated. The system is designed to be balanced. Air out, air back, a complete circuit, every time. When that loop is working the way it is supposed to, every room gets the right amount of cool air. The system hums along efficiently. The whole house feels comfortable. But here is what happens in most American homes. The supply vent pushes cool air into the problem room. But there is no return vent in that room, no pathway for the air to get back out and return to the system. So the air builds up, pressure increases inside that room. And here is the part that genuinely surprised me when I first understood it. That pressure buildup actually pushes back against the supply vent. It slows the incoming airflow. So ironically, the harder your system tries to cool that room, the harder it becomes to cool that room. The room gets worse as the cycle runs, not better. Your system is fighting against itself, and the room keeps cooking. Now here is something that most homeowners have never heard, and it is something the HVAC industry has very little financial incentive to explain to you. New homes are chronically under-returned. When your house was built, the contractor was required to install return vents. But the building code sets a minimum, and that minimum allows for far fewer returns than what is actually optimal for a comfortable home. Why? Because return ducts cost money. They take up space. A single central return vent in the hallway is cheaper and faster to install than individual returns in every room. So that is what gets built. Minimum code, maximum profit. And homeowners spend years wondering why certain rooms never feel right. When an HVAC technician comes to your house for a hot room complaint, the standard path goes something like this. They check the refrigerant, they look at the ductwork, they talk about a zoning system with electronic dampers and multiple thermostats. Maybe they suggest a secondary unit for the upper floor. All of that can run anywhere from $2,000 to $8,000. And here is what they almost never mention. For many homes, the majority of homes with this specific problem, a $16 transfer grill achieves 70 to 80% of the same result. There is no business model built around telling you that. A $16 fix does not pay for the service call. So the conversation moves on to the expensive solution, and you write the check. Now I need to tell you something about closing your bedroom door at night, because this one is going to surprise you. And for a lot of people watching this, it may be the most important thing in this entire video. Most of us close our bedroom doors at night. Privacy, noise, a sleeping pet that needs to stay in or out. Perfectly reasonable. But here is what happens inside your HVAC system when that door closes. The supply vent in your bedroom keeps pushing cool air in, but the return vent is out in the hallway. With the door closed, the air has no way to get back out of the room. Pressure builds. Studies have shown that closing bedroom doors in homes without dedicated return vents in those rooms can increase the static pressure inside the duct system by 25% or more. 25% more resistance every night against the blower motor that keeps your entire system running. Your blower motor is working significantly harder than it was designed to work every single night because of a closed door and a missing return pathway. Over time, that extra strain shortens the life of the motor. It increases your energy consumption, and it makes the room warmer and stuffier as the night goes on, which is exactly what most people with this problem experience. The room feels fine when they go to bed and progressively worse through the night. The house is not broken, the pressure loop is broken, and a $16 grill fixes it. There is one more hidden problem worth understanding before we get to the fix, and this one involves your thermostat. Your thermostat is almost certainly located in a hallway or a common living area. When the air conditioner runs, it cools that hallway. The thermostat reaches the target temperature and tells the system to shut off. But the isolated room, the one with no return pathway, is still 8, 10, sometimes 12 degrees hotter. The thermostat never knows. It is satisfied. It shuts the system down, and the hot room never gets a chance to catch up. When you add a return pathway to that room, its air starts cycling back through the system. The actual temperature throughout the house becomes more accurate. The system runs longer when it needs to and stops when the whole house, not just the hallway, has actually reached the right temperature. One $16 grill, and your thermostat suddenly starts doing its job properly for the first time. Now, if you are finding this useful, if you are thinking about that room and starting to understand for the first time why it has been so difficult, go ahead and hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second and it genuinely helps this video reach more people who need to hear this. And if you want to keep getting honest, practical information about your home, subscribe. New videos every single week. Alright, let me tell you exactly what to buy and exactly what to do. What you are looking for is called a transfer grill, sometimes listed as a return air grill or a wall transfer grill. You will find it at any home improvement store or online for between $8 and $16 depending on the size. Here is how it works. You cut a rectangular opening in the wall between the problem room and the hallway where your existing return vent already is. You install the grill over that opening on both sides of the wall. Air can now flow freely from the room back to the hallway and into the return system, even when the door is completely closed. No electricity, no wiring, no moving parts. Just a louvered grill in a wall that gives the air somewhere to go. The installation is genuinely beginner level. You need a pencil, a level, a drywall saw, and a screwdriver. That is it. No permits required in almost every jurisdiction for a simple non-structural wall penetration. And the whole job takes about 45 minutes from start to finish. Here is exactly how you do it. First, and this step is important, use a stud finder to locate the studs in the wall you are planning to cut. You need to find a clear space between two studs where no wires or pipes are running. Use a non-contact voltage tester along the wall before you cut anything. This takes 5 minutes and it is not optional. Second, hold the grill frame against the wall at about head height. High on the wall is actually better because warm air rises and exits more easily near the top, and sound travels less efficiently upward, which matters, and I will explain in just a moment. Trace the outline with a pencil. Use a level to make sure it is straight. Third, cut along your outline with the drywall saw. Go slowly. The cut does not have to be perfect because the grill frame will cover the edges. Fourth, install the grill frame on both sides of the wall. One face visible in the bedroom, one face visible in the hallway. Most transfer grills come with screws and snap together from both sides through the wall opening. That is the whole job. 45 minutes, $16. And the room that has been hot for years starts behaving like every other room in the house. Now I said I would come back to the sound issue. And I want to be honest with you about this, because most videos skip it entirely, and people end up with regret. A transfer grill is an opening in a wall, and an opening in a wall lets sound through. Hallway noise, a television in the living room, someone walking past, a conversation, will be more audible in the bedroom after you install this grill, especially at night when everything else is quiet. There are 3 ways to handle this. The first is placement. Installing the grill high on the wall, near the ceiling rather than at mid-wall, reduces sound transmission noticeably because sound travels less efficiently upward. The second is a sound attenuating transfer grill. These are specially designed grills with internal baffles that allow air to pass through while absorbing much of the sound. They cost between $40 and $80 instead of $16, but they are worth every penny if sound matters to you. The third option is called a jumper duct. This is a short, flexible duct that runs from inside the problem room up through the ceiling space and back down into the hallway, completely hidden inside the ceiling. It works exactly like the transfer grill, but you never see it, and it absorbs significantly more sound. A jumper duct can be done for under $40 in materials and about an hour of work. It is almost never discussed in consumer content, but building professionals use it regularly in new construction now for exactly this reason. Before you buy anything at all, I want to walk you through a quick check you can do right now to confirm this is actually your problem, because there is one other common cause of a hot room that looks identical from the outside. Go to the problem room, close the door, turn your HVAC system on, and let it run for about 5 minutes. Then take a thin piece of tissue paper and hold it near the gap at the bottom of the closed door. If the tissue is pushed away from the room, if it blows outward into the hallway, that room has positive pressure. Air is going in and cannot get out. A return vent fix is exactly what you need. If the tissue is pulled toward the room, drawn inward under the door, that room has negative pressure. That is a different problem, usually caused by an exhaust fan or a duct leak, and it needs a different solution. And before anything else, check your air filter. Pull it out and look at it. A clogged filter is the single most common cause of system imbalance in American homes, and it costs $5 to fix. If it is gray and thick with dust, replace it before you do anything else. You may be surprised how much difference that alone makes. Let me tell you one more thing that almost nobody mentions, because the benefit of fixing this goes well beyond just one room. When you add a return pathway and bring the static pressure in your duct system back into balance, the blower motor runs closer to its designed operating point. It stops straining against the extra resistance. And when that happens, your entire system becomes more efficient, not just the one room. Your energy consumption drops, your equipment runs cooler, your air filter processes more air and does its job more effectively. And the temperature throughout the whole house becomes more even, not just in the room you fixed, but everywhere. A single $16 grill lowering your monthly energy bill by $10 to $30 during peak summer months, paying for itself in the first season, and extending the life of equipment that costs thousands of dollars to replace. So here is my question for you, and I genuinely want to know. Is there a room in your home that has been the hot room for years? A room everyone in the family has just accepted as the uncomfortable one? Did you ever have an HVAC technician come out, look at it, and walk away with a quote for something that cost thousands of dollars? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. And I think the answers are going to tell a very familiar story that a lot of people watching this are going to recognize immediately. If this video gave you something real, a real answer to a problem you have been living with, please hit that like button. It helps more than you know. And subscribe if you want to keep getting this kind of honest, straightforward, practical information about your home. Thank you so much for watching. Stay comfortable, and I will see you in the next one.